Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is George Schlacek and I am
the one and only.
Today I'm going to update you on my pursuit of becoming a decent drone pilot. As some of you may know, I had a drone back in January and was very excited to fly, get drone footage for the channel, and thereby enhance the overall experience for you, the viewer. To make this really interesting, I was committed to sharing my experience so that anyone who might be interested could learn from it too. Well, when you pursue something new, there's no guarantee of it going smoothly. As a matter of fact, chances are it won't. My drone, a Holystone HS700D, flew away on its own after only a few flights. It took off after it had landed. The battery was low, so I went to pick it up to go home. But then, the unthinkable happened. The propellers started spinning and the drone flew off, out of my control. To this day, I don't know how this could have happened, but there are some clues. One of them is that a signal might have interfered with the receiver unit of the drone and caused the motors to spin fast enough to lift it off. When I attempted to regain control by turning the remote control back on, it was not successful. According to the manufacturer, the drone has a built-in safety feature that will land it exactly where it took off when the battery goes below a certain threshold. Obviously, this didn't happen in my case. I spent many hours looking for my drone, but never found it yet. It might actually be somewhere in a park that opens up in May. I have high hopes of retrieving it eventually, but the odds aren't ideal as this drone wasn't marked. Of course, I sent emails to the city and the park administration, but so far no one has responded. What I learned from this initial mishap, and a message from my daughter who also has a mini drone, is that flying any drone that weighs over 249 grams requires a license and registration in Canada. You'd never know this from reading any of the descriptions on eBay, Amazon, or Banggood where you can order those devices. I should have done my research prior, but there are so many low-cost drones that are categorized as recreational items that registration and licensing sure isn't the first thing that comes to mind. I had ordered a drone and expected to unbox and fly it right away. Well, after reading the instructions maybe. When I heard of the licensing requirement, my first reaction was that there is no way. They call it a pilot certificate. Sounds expensive, doesn't it? My next plan was to just get a small drone that weighs under 250 grams. As a matter of fact, there is a very good one on the market, and one of my favorite YouTubers apparently uses it. It's a DJI Mavic Mini. The problem is that it is also kind of expensive. Well, over $500 expensive, which is more than most of us would be inclined to spend, especially if you're inexperienced and just lost a drone after the third time flying it. And then, what if I get my first drone back someday? I'd still have to become a pilot and register it just to be allowed using it ever again. What's perhaps worse, if the drone is found by authorities, they might ask to see documentation before they release it. I wouldn't be able to produce a registration in that case, but at a minimum, I could get my pilot certificate to show that I've made an effort to comply as soon as I found out about that requirement. So as I was entertaining that thought, I started to research what it would actually take to get this license. It turned out that it was relatively simple and definitely not expensive. There are 35 multiple choice questions to answer, which cover all aspects of aviation, even some meteorology and things that don't really apply to drone flyers. To pass the exam, you have to answer 65% correctly. The required information can be found online. Most of it is in the Canadian Aviation Regulations. Part 9 covers remote-controlled aircraft. Then there's the Aeronautical Information Manual from Transport Canada. It would be a good idea to read through those two documents before attempting to pass the test. However, the time limit for this online exam is 90 minutes. There's plenty of time to Google the answers, and it is allowed. You're basically learning the rules as you're passing the exam. That's exactly how I passed mine. One morning, after finding out those basic requirements and that the exam cost only $10, I decided to give it a whirl and took the exam. I passed with flying colors. Now, I'm at least qualified to fly a drone in basic operations. The license is good for 2 years, and I'm now considering shooting for my advanced pilot certificate the next time around, which also includes a flight exam. In the meantime, however, I still need to get good at flying my drone. How can I do that without the drone? Well, let me introduce you to Cetus. Cetus, as I call this little guy. I bought another drone. Let me tell you, it was a big surprise. It was a big learning experience, like the birdie up there. So I went first for the license, got the drone license, and then I ordered a drone. It is called JJRC X, and I'll show you in a bit here. It looks like a little monster. It looks like really mean, and it's supposed to be a really good drone. I'm telling you, when I tried it out once in a place where you probably shouldn't try it, but see, today I'm going to try it out. Look at, there's Big Raven. There's Big Raven right there. I don't know what he's going to do when I fly the drone. Hey, what do you say there, Big Raven? Am I intruding on your property? Don't worry, because I know that I'm not allowed to fly the drone here. I'm gonna go somewhere else. But from here, you know, I can see the river, sunrise colors are still there. I don't know if I'll be able to capture those later on, but look at, like, it's the river. And over there is the field where I flew my other drone for the very first time. So there's a lot of beautiful sights here. And I'm hoping this is going to be successful today. Excited? Oh, maybe, yeah, a little bit. Okay, this is my little drone that I got now. It's called JJRC X8 Cetus. It looks pretty mighty. It flies really well. So far, I found that out already. To help stabilize the flight, Cetus has a GPS system. In order to establish a connection with the satellites, he needs to be calibrated. That means he needs to be spun around 3 times in horizontal position and then 3 times in vertical position. When there are red and green lights, it means he's good to go. I think we're good. Cetus, as I call this little guy, is a perfect drone for beginners, like myself. Like my first drone, he's got GPS and a return to home feature. The controls are simple, but take some practice. As you can see in my footage, it's very responsive, which can make for a shaky video when trying to maneuver too abruptly. The camera on this drone is capable of 1080p high def, but it's fixed in its position and has no means of stabilization. The GPS is what makes the drone easy to control because besides the return to home feature, it enables it to hold its position even when the wind is trying to blow it away. Mine came with 2 batteries. It was on special on Banggood for just under $185 Canadian, shipping included. I'll put a link in the description, but please know that I'm not getting sponsored by Banggood or JJRC. The last time I flew my drone was at a designated airfield for model aircraft.
So yeah, I just discovered something really cool. It's a remote control airport field. So at least I know I won't get like a huge ticket here, and there's not a no-fly zone obviously. I just talked to a guy and there's a membership fee. It's $75 a year. But for now, I'm gonna fly my drone here. And if somebody shows up, I'll just ask them about the membership, and maybe it's worth paying it anyways, because look up behind me, there's an amazing view of the Edmonton skyline. Anyways, you'll see it on my drone footage.
Since I'm already toying with the idea of building my own drone, mainly to get better aerial footage, I am seriously considering becoming a member at this airfield, at least until my flying skills are good enough to fly without GPS. Of course, I will update you on my progress occasionally and share the experience of building my next drone. As of right now, I have $56 Canadian worth of parts coming my way, which is only the beginning. I ordered 4 motors, a power distribution board, and speed controllers. If you'd like to see how this ultimately turns out, why not subscribe? I'm totally new to this, and you can learn from my screw-ups. Should get interesting, but when it comes to learning, for me, the hard way always works best. I'll see you soon for another episode of Bicycle Touring Talk. In the meantime, you might enjoy these videos right here on the screen.